Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lena Yaisley, and I am the founder here at the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center in Garner, North Carolina. I'm excited to give you an overview of what we have coming up on the horizon for fall of 2023. We've got some great programs, classes, and all sorts of fun happening, and I really hope that your family will join us. So let's get started. As I said, my name is Lena Yaisley. I'm the owner here at the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center. I've been a homeschool mom for 14 years. We're just finishing our 14th year of homeschooling our family. My oldest graduated last year. I have a rising senior and a rising second grader. You can reach me at any time at Lena, Laina, at trianglehomeschoolresources.com. So if you have any questions about this presentation or want to know more about our center, that is a great way to reach me. So let's dive in. What we're going to talk about in this video is what exactly is the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center, what makes us different, and then we will have an overview of our fall calendar, pricing structure, membership, all that fun stuff. So what is the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center? A few years ago, I noticed that, in the landscape of homeschooling activities, there were lots of co-ops, lots of groups meeting at churches, lots of things, lots of play groups that were often getting rained out at parks, especially this season. This spring has been absolutely crazy. But, where would a homeschooler go in the middle of the day when they just had a question or just needed some help or wanted to get together with friends and didn't want to, clean their kitchen and vacuum up the dog hair and because they'd rather do that tomorrow. So, uh, you know, the idea that homeschoolers should have their own place to gather, a place to call their own, where they could find community and support, was really kind of the seed that started the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center. So we are located at 611 Benson Road in Garner. We have our own little building tucked back from Benson Road. So we're actually in the back of a plaza, a little hard to find Google Maps, so you can always give me a call to help direct you. But our aim is to be open at least 5 days a week so that homeschoolers have a place to go, where they can find other homeschoolers, where they can find support, where they can find tools and resources. And in doing that, we have classes. We host social events. So they're usually educational opportunities that are just little one off things. We try to theme our months. So we're heading into School Spirit Month in May. And, we're going to be just talking about how we can be enthusiastic as homeschoolers and helping our kids share in that enthusiasm. We offer support for parents, so consulting, just a gathering place, workshops, and all sorts of things. So we really put it under one roof in a place that I like to think of as, your local community center or your Y for homeschoolers, right? And what makes us different is that we have all those things under one roof. In terms of our classes and the offerings, we're somewhere between a co-op and an enrichment program. So we're not borrowing space, and we encourage families to not just drop off their kids. In fact, for most of our classes, for ages 10 and under, we do not allow drop off. A parent or guardian is required to stay on site with the student. We do have a community room. We have Wi-Fi and coffee and water and games and books and a playroom for the younger siblings. We have a yard. So it is really meant to build community and support your children's interests and education. So, also by having this space, you can drop in when you need help. So, we are working up to really full time open hours where we can have somebody behind our desk that can support you when you have a question about homeschooling, when you're looking for new curriculum, when you need help sourcing a test, all that kind of stuff. We make support for parents our number one priority because part of the reason we all homeschool, right, is that our kids are individuals and their education, we want to be individualized and tailored to them. So if we went about providing just a whole big program from 9 to 3, Monday through Friday, we are not really providing anything different than a school. We would be providing education for a very small subset of kids that fit. So by supporting parents first, by helping them create community and providing the support resources that parents need, then every parent, every family can go and provide and is empowered to provide the education that their children need. And of course, we still want to come together and create community and be social and learn together um, in groups. So we do that through our classes and our socials. And those are really driven by the needs and the interests of the families that are coming and participating. So if you see something that is on our calendar that would fit your family, that is fantastic. If you don't see something on our calendar that would fit your family, then please let us know, because that is something that we would like to help create in conjunction with you as your homeschool administrator and your family. So that's kind of how we work and what makes us a little different than your typical um, co-op or your typical enrichment program. So, like I said, we are more than just classes. We're building a community. Um, a big part of what I do here and why I wanted my own space or our own space was because I didn't want to borrow it. Like by carting our materials in and out of a room in a church or a library or a local, community center, something owned by the town, we're kind of just borrowing, we're visiting, we're not setting down roots. So having our own space allows us to set down roots and really start building that community of support. So here we are, our fall 2023 class overview. Now, like I said, this is an overview of what we would like to offer based on what we've seen the needs are in the community. It is not set in stone. We're really just kind of taking an idea of what are folks interested in right now, and where we're headed. And we want to let you know what we have in mind. And if it fits, that is fantastic. And if it doesn't, then please reach out and come and meet us and come and see our space and see how we can serve your family. But let's get started with what we kind of have planned. So here is my lovely hand-drawn schedule for next year. It just makes sense to my brain to kind of box things out. And as I'm moving things around, it was a lot easier to kind of scribble in it than to keep trying to make it pretty and texty. So classes generally are 10, 12, 16, or 18 weeks long. I know that's kind of covered by the little logo up here in the corner, but so when these classes are going to start kind of depends on how long they are, who the instructor is, and what their schedule is. So some of the 16 and 18-week classes will start the week of August 21st, 2023. All others are slated to begin the week of Labor Day or beginning the 5th of September, which would be the day after Labor Day. The schoolhouse program, which you'll see on Mondays and Wednesdays, is something new that we are kind of gathering interest and information about, and we'll be learning more about throughout the summer. But that would be the only drop-off program for kids 10 and under at the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center. Otherwise, we invite parents and siblings to stay and create that community. Yes, you can partner with other parents and other families to kind of take a day and you stay with our kids today and I'll stay next week and stuff like that. We're here to support you as a community of parents. So there are lots of possibilities. We have Wi-Fi, so if you need to work while your student is in class, we have a room you can kind of close the door, put your headphones on, connect to the Wi-Fi and do some work. We have a yard, we have a playroom for the younger siblings. So when I say we don't do drop-off, it is primarily to not blur the line between childcare and a homeschool program or a private school and a homeschool enrichment. But it's also, to kind of foster that community, to really be here for one another and create more bonds for our kids than just somebody they see in class every week. So there is a purpose behind that. And I know that that doesn't work for every family. So we are working to be flexible, but um, like I said, there's really a purpose behind not doing the drop offs for that age. So I want to dive in a little bit. This is our overview. You can kind of see the whole week at a glance, but I do want to dive in individually into the different age groups and let you know what we have to offer. So our K-2, we generally do multi-age classes. So we group our kindergarten, first grade, and second graders together. We are flexible about age range, so please do reach out and talk to us if you have a question or you think your student might be interested, but not quite in the specific age range of the class. So we can definitely, address that on a more individual basis. But as a broad overview, our K-2 on Tuesday afternoons, this year we had a coding skills class this spring semester, and it went really well. So we'd like to do that again. That will be a repeat of what we did this semester. So for new students or students who are really interested in doing it again, that'll be Tuesday afternoons from 1 to 1:45. And then Thursday is really our K-2 and 3 to 5 block, where we try to group classes together in a block of more than an hour at a time. So folks who are visiting us from Wake Forest or from, West Cary or Zebulon can drive once and be here and take advantage of what we have to offer. So we do try to block them by similar aged classes. So on Tuesday mornings, our K-2 kiddos are young. 2 hours we have found is pretty good block for them. So we are offering earth science and a who was history class based on the who was, who is series of books. And it's more of a world geography with a taste of history based on biographies than it is truly a history class. But it'll cover some geography, some history, and of course the literature element of those books. So these are our K-2 offerings. Grades 3 to 5. We will move on from your basic coding skills and vocabulary and actually use tablets, and we will do some coding with Scratch. So if you're familiar with Scratch, the drag and drop kind of block style programming, we'll be doing coding. They don't have to have done our unplugged coding skills, but our kids who have done the unplugged coding skills before are welcome to see if coding with Scratch fits them and their needs moving on. We'll have a storytelling and literature. So we're really kind of diving into literary elements and using picture books, and then also helping kids to craft their own story with their own characters and their own plot line. So every kid will have their own project they're working on throughout the semester. And then, of course, we'll be doing, examining picture books for the elements we're looking to create in our stories. Earth science, again, at another level, the third to fifth grade level, will also have earth science. And on Tuesday afternoons, if storytelling isn't your kid's speed, maybe they're a little more outdoorsy and hands-on, we'll be doing survival skills, language arts, and that is more really probably the fourth and fifth grade through sixth and seventh grade. Maybe seventh grade is a little bit old for that class, but we'll be using the Bear Grylls Adventure series of chapter books. So if you're willing to read those out loud to your student, then, or if they can read independently, there will be a lot of reading outside of class to be done in that. But that's a really kind of fun, different twist on language arts that we're going to be taking on Tuesday afternoons. So our sixth to eighth grade, our middle schoolers, we really want to give them a taste of career exploration, even before they get to high school, where they can maybe do some more focused, deeper dives into once they have an idea of what their area of interest might be. So we're going to learn about all different career clusters, all sorts of different fields of study and career pathways. And we're going to be journaling and doing presentations and projects and research about those. So we'll tie it into the language arts, but that's what we'll be focusing on as we do those projects. Physical science, we'll have a experiment-based physical science class. It is thus far planned to be a non-religious science class. So Tuesdays at 10 a.m. we'll come together for some learning, some experiments, and then we like to do fun kind of reviews in the form of games or escape rooms or something like that. So we really take a different take on your basic science class. Take Time for Art has been a really popular class here at the Resource Center. So we've done 2 semesters and filled our classes for Take Time for Art. It is a program developed by Take Time for Art company. We use their curriculum and come together in a group with an instructor to kind of do that all together. And it is taking a time period of history and learning about the history and then doing hands-on projects in the style of the art from that period. So whether it is a Byzantine mosaic or an Egyptian burial mask or all kinds of things, they are hands-on real art skills and wonderful history. And to Take Time for Art curriculum does have a Christian worldview, so that is something to be aware of. We're hoping that their Take Time for Art American history will be ready for the fall. So if that is, we'll be doing American history, and if not, then we'll be diving into either ancient Rome or ancient Greece. We also have an entrepreneurship class. Wednesdays late in the afternoon. So this is a little bit later. It is more the 7th to 10th grade age range. There's some math and stuff involved in the class. So, but the idea of the entrepreneurship class is to give kids an idea of what it is like to solve a problem and create a business around it. So we're putting it later in the afternoon because we'd really love to have the involvement of the local business community. And we have the support of some local business owners who really want to come in and help mentor the kids through this process and through this class. So, we'll have a primary instructor, but there will also be mentors and the kids will work in groups. And at the end, they'll have a project where they do a pitch competition. So in order to have the support and the time available from the local business mentors, then later in the afternoon kind of generally works for their schedule better. So that's the placement of that class and where we're hoping to go with that. And it's a really fantastic opportunity for kids. And if you've been a homeschooler for a while, if you know anything about entrepreneurship, then there's just a fantastic crossover in the mindset and the skill set of homeschoolers and entrepreneurs. So it's a really great thing to be able to pass that on to our kids. And like I said, the local business community is really excited about this. So yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. So our grades 9th through 12th. So high school level classes also on Tuesday, Thursday. We have Tuesday mornings, and Thursday afternoons. So Tuesday mornings, pre-AP computer science. So this is not a designation by the College Board, but if your student has never studied computer science, would like to think about a career in computer engineering, computer science, then we will be doing something that will kind of prep them for an AP level class or a college level class. And that is Tuesdays from 9 to 9:50. Personal finance, the Beyond Personal Finance curriculum is what we use in personal finance. And we do try to add some extras in terms of expert guest speakers and extra experiences to that. But it is a fantastic curriculum. And I highly, highly recommend it. If you don't take the class here, find it local to you or find it in a time that fits your schedule, because it is fantastic. The students learn about all sorts of things, from taxes to amortization tables to the costs of having kids and the real cost of college. And they simulate a year of their life after high school for every unit of the class. So they cover 20 years of their life after high school. They create a budget, things happen to them, and they learn all sorts of things along the way. So it is a fantastic class for student engagement. The kids really open up and um, have discussions. It's been a great experience teaching that for the last couple of years, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. So, anatomy and physiology will be a 90-minute class. This is definitely for more advanced high schoolers who are looking toward a career in healthcare. So, whether it's physical therapy or phlebotomy or pre-med or anything of the sort, then this anatomy and physiology is definitely going to help give them a taste of what that career field is like. It will be taught by a practicing physical therapist who has more than 20 years of experience. She's really excited to kind of connect with the students and put this in place. We also have kind of a different spin on language arts. So if you have any true crime junkies or podcast junkies in your high school or in your high school age group, then the true crime language arts is going to be kind of a fun twist on your typical high school language arts class. So we're going to be studying reading biographies and stories about people like Lizzie Borden and stuff like that. And then I believe the Serial podcast is part of that curriculum. So that's going to be a really fun and different take on language arts. And we also have AP Computer Science. So we have submitted paperwork to the College Board to actually offer an AP Computer Science class. So we're working on that, and we hope that comes to fruition. If we don't get the okay from the College Board to actually call it an AP class, then it will still use an AP level curriculum and prepare your students for the AP test. Because if you didn't know, in order to call it AP Computer Science on their transcript, you have to have approval from the College Board for the class. But you don't have to take an approved AP class in order to sit for the test, the AP test. So there's some possibilities there. We're hoping that works out. But in any case, it is a non-specific principles class. So it doesn't teach a particular language, although different languages will be used as examples. It's taught in a pseudocode, and it's really about how does all this computer science stuff work? How do algorithms work? And what is the logic and thinking behind, designing software and hardware as well. So that's our high school level classes. Other things you've seen on the schedule are high school hangout. So I've had a lot of families reach out and say their high schoolers just need a place to kind of gather with other high schoolers. I'd really love to start some passion-based projects or interest-based study and give our students some mentoring in creating their own projects and their own independent studies. So we're going to have high school hangout. It is a kind of a time and space for high school students to have kind of a study hall or perhaps some group tutoring. We'll kind of see how that works out. But just another time where there's going to be other students of that age range. We're going to have folks here to kind of help them out with schoolwork. And if they want to start some projects or some independent study, then kind of helping them gather the resources for that. We have clubs. So clubs are generally a wider age range. They're mostly student driven. And what makes a club really different from a class is that, for example, if we were to have a handicrafts club, then if the students wanted to learn knitting, then, they would bring their materials. We would help them find someone to teach some knitting skills. We'd probably be sourcing it from parents, from the community, from other students. It wouldn't necessarily be a curriculum where we say, this is what we're going to learn every week, and here's what your student is going to have by the end of it. It's really an interest-based gathering. And then where we go and what we do will depend on what the students have to offer and what they want to get out of it. We do have a chess club currently that meets every 2 weeks. That is currently on Thursday afternoons. It may stay there, it may move, but it is all age ranges. So from kindergarten through parents and grandparents come and play chess together. And kids who have had no experience are coming and learning, and kids who have a lot of experience are getting to play games with other kids who are, different levels and learning from one another. So that's been a really fantastic experience, and we'd like to open that up to other interests like gardening or handicrafts or businesses, things like that. We would also like to start maybe a student journalism club. So I've been in talks with some local businesses and some other local groups to maybe have, student reporting, a newsletter, perhaps a local area-wide yearbook. It's really kind of open-ended. So if there's interest in that, we'd kind of like to start getting that. It would be really fun, maybe to create a YouTube channel, or lots of ways we can go on that. So something for older students for sure. So maybe middle and high schoolers for student journalism club. Like I said, garden club, chess club, handicrafts, maybe gaming. If your student is into board games or even video games, we're definitely open to that. So if you have an interest, or your student has an interest and they want to gather with other students who have that interest, then come talk to us. We'd love to get a club started for them. Enrichment centers are themes, kind of busy boxes, hands-on learning experiences for a toddler through preschool. It is meant for, families to come in. We put out about 8 stations, and you come in, you move through them with your child. All the instructions and everything are kind of there for you to move through that, and you can have an enrichment experience with your child and some other kids, meet some other families who are kind of just starting this process of deciding whether or not to homeschool, or they know they want to homeschool, but they're not official yet and they're too young to be doing work, that kind of thing, right? So it's a great way to kind of reach out and get connected with the community before, the all serious classes and stuff start. So we do theme them. We had a bug theme. We're working on our transportation boxes to hopefully get those open for May. And it's just a time, like a 2-hour time block, where you can come in and move through them at your pace and enjoy. So we would like to have some Spanish conversational groups, perhaps French conversation, some music enrichment, art classes. Those would probably be shorter class sessions with a wider age range, where we do 6 or 8 weeks with a particular topic in mind. And like I said, a wider age range, maybe whole family type experiences, especially for the language immersion. So those are kind of in the still information gathering stages. But if we do that, it would probably be a particular afternoon a week. And, those offerings would be interest-based. So what does our pricing look like for these classes? So maybe you saw something you liked and you're kind of wondering, well, what's the next step? So we do have membership here at the Triangle Homeschool Resource Center, and that includes, our socials, which I didn't get to talk about too much, but our socials, usually Fridays, we do socials based on age groups, ages 3 to 6, 7 to 10, 11 to 13, and 14 and up. And we try to hit every age group twice a month. But we'd also like to do more field trips next year. So how those kind of all fit into the schedule is to be determined, but there will be lots of opportunities for your kids to kind of get together and do one-off themed kind of fun. So if classes aren't your speed, but you want to have other kids that your kids see regularly, other moms that you see regularly, then our socials are a really good fit. So our membership includes all of those socials. So you can come to those without additional cost. And it is $69 per month per family. So to get the member pricing on our classes, you do need to maintain the membership throughout the duration of the class. So if that's a 10 or 12 week class, then it's September, October, November, December. And then if it's a 16 or 18 week class, then your membership would have to start in August. Of course, to get the member pricing, you'd have to already be a member. So we're kind of trying to work that out for those families who just don't do a whole lot of homeschool related things during the summer, but you want to be a member, and take advantage of classes. Still kind of working out the details of how that looks and what those terms would be, but definitely let us know, and we'd like to talk to you about that. So 10-week classes are $160 for members, $230 for non-members, and then up through there are 16-week classes, and this is for K-8 age group, are $256 for 16 weeks and $368 for non-members. And that's really our middle school classes, things like coding or sciences, that would be 16 weeks. Most other classes in the K-8 range are 10 to 12 weeks in length. Our schoolhouse program, as of now, we're still in the information gathering phase for that program, but we'd really like to know if there's interest for community-based learning. It would be 3 hours, 2 days a week, so 7 hours total per week of mentoring and instruction, and that would be $415 per month per student. But family membership would be included, so there would be sibling discounts for that schoolhouse program. Right now, it looks like grades 2 through 6 in a one-room schoolhouse sort of environment where the kids are working on projects. They're following passions, and they have like a morning meeting and a journaling later in the day. So it's really a different paradigm of education. And we'd really, like to get something like that started here. So if you're interested in that, that's what it's looking like right now. But of course, things may change as we go through summer. I like to kind of put out ceiling prices. Like, this is the most I would ask from you. But, and then hopefully if any adjustments would be made, it would be in your favor. So less. So, and then grades 9 through 12 pricing. Again, membership applies, or 16-week classes or 18-week classes or 90-minute 16-week classes. So that would be our AP class level classes, or our anatomy and physiology, which is really a specialized, more advanced class. These are expert taught classes. They're pretty rigorous. So they are a little higher priced, but they're also 90 minutes with the teacher per week, and probably availability for tutoring as needed for a minuscule additional cost, as opposed to a private tutor can cost $40 to $80 per hour. They would be not that. So that's our 9 to 12 pricing. All of this is, of course, in the planning stages. So, like I said, we are here to support the community. There is, of course, overhead with keeping a building open, creating a community center for families. And so we're proposing things because it helps us meet our overhead. And then we have lots of room in the calendar, in the flexibility of what we do, to add things. If you have a group of friends that want a particular offering, or have a particular need and want to bring it here and have us help you kind of create that and create the facility for that, then that is really what we are looking to do long term. Our goal would be to move more towards that. What the community brings us as a need, or what teachers in the community bring us that they would like to offer and share. We'd like to move more towards that than, say, putting together a fall schedule and saying, here's what we're going to offer. So, we're in the process. Like I said, we've been open a year, and we really want folks to come and meet us and see what we're about. So if you wouldn't mind, please, filling out an interest survey. Tell us, all these things that you've seen are in the survey, and then some room for some feedback about what else you might need, or maybe different age ranges for what we have offered, and some other possibilities that didn't quite make it on the schedule, and to see if folks are interested in those. I will, whatever email or in the comments of this or description of this video, you'll find this link for a Google form. So please fill out the survey and let us know if we've hit the mark, if we've missed the mark, and how we can better serve your family. We would really love that opportunity to get to know you. And at any time, you can schedule a tour to come in as we are working towards our full-time open hours. Right now, we're making sure we are by appointment, especially heading into summer. But we'd love to meet your family. We'd love to show you our beautiful facility. It really is a wonderful, welcoming space, and we have a beautiful yard. We're tucked back, we're safe, and we're really just trying to be homey and comfortable so you have a home away from homeschool. So come join us and find out what we're about. And I thank you for tuning in or taking the time to watch this video. And if there are any questions, then I will definitely leave my contact information in the description of the video. If you are catching this on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about it, and follow along for more information we have coming about local homeschool information and offerings, tips, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and let us know that you want to see more from our local homeschool community. All right. Thank you very much and have a great homeschooling day.